I'm Brenda Lano. I am the Community Development Manager for the Carver County CDA. So I think I was asked to speak to you because we have a different perspective. We are a community land trust model, but we operate it as a program instead of as a nonprofit entity. So how did we begin this journey? Well, we actually started as the Chaska Community Land Trust. So back in 2003, concerned citizens in Chaska, the Chaska City Council, some of the business community realized that Chaska was a very fast-growing community. Values of land were going up very high. Home prices were being driven up, and they realized that the City of Chaska staff and the police department and our teachers couldn't afford to buy homes in the community. So they decided to look at their comp plans, and they looked at their principles and ideas, and they said they wanted life cycle housing within the community. And they adopted and amended their 2020 comprehensive plan to have a provision of affordable housing. And then they decided they wanted a permanently affordable housing provision in there. And they decided that land trust was the model that they were going to use. They came up with a unique partnership. They reached out to the CDA and said, you guys are a HUD housing counseling agency. Would you work with us and work with our buyers and educate them on home ownership and about that land trust model? And so we stepped in and we said, yes, we'd partner with you. They realized that they didn't need to recreate the wheel in some of the things that were already out there. They went to the larger employers in the area and said, would you support affordable home ownership for your workforce in the community? And they got a responsive yes. And last, they went to the citizens of Chaska, and they also supported the model. So they were fortunate in getting all of these entities to work together and be at the table. In 2003, they acquired their first home, and in those early years, they experienced some moderate growth. By 2008, they had 18 homes in the portfolio. And of course, what happened then? The housing market crashed. And unfortunately, here was Chaska with this portfolio of homes, and they were buying these homes at the height of the market, and they realized that they no longer could afford to sustain the model. And that was because they couldn't afford to have that executive director role and some of the other things that were there. So they wondered, how will they sustain and go through this? The funding streams were starting to dry up, and so they reached out to the CDA as their partner and said, this is something you guys already do. Your mission is to promote affordable housing. And we were working with foreclosing homeowners. We have a portfolio of rental properties. So they asked us, would we please look at taking on the model, becoming the stewards of the land and the stewards of the homeowners themselves, and make sure that this would not die in the community and would continue to not only survive, but thrive. So in 2009, we did just that. We acquired the properties through a quitclaim deed process, and we became the stewards of the land. We managed, during that foreclosure crisis, we managed short sales for our homeowners. We were fortunate in only having a few that did go through foreclosure. Part of that was us being a housing counseling agency. We worked very hard to minimize those effects. And then as the market started to recuperate, we looked at transitioning what we were doing with just sustaining and started to manage some growth. We were very mindful in the way we were going to approach growth, because as we supported affordable home ownership as a HUD housing counseling and education partner, we didn't want to compete with that market either. So we were mindful in not buying up properties that somebody else could afford. We actually went after foreclosed and blighted properties so that we could take those and fix them, put them back into the communities, and grow that. We are a small entity. We are one of the smaller land trusts in the communities in the Minneapolis area. We only have 29 homes, but we have seen that growth in the last few years. We started out with just Chaska. We now are in 3 of the communities in Carver County, with a 4th on board to add at least 2, if not 3 homes within the next few years. And we've been invited into 2 more communities to say they're interested in having us there. Our model is unique because we do so many things, and this is just a program, that we can keep some of those expenses down. we really work on partnering, and some of the communities that have come in have done it through very little contribution. They're not supplementing the entire land as Bloomington has been able to do with Walt, but through partnerships where we've gotten large employers to donate towards that land acquisition, through grants through the state of Minnesota, and through the city, we've been able to grow and bring in. Some of the things that cities have done through Chaska, Waconia, Victoria, some of the ways that they've brought land in is by either committing TIF funding for affordable housing, fast-track approvals, small cash donations, reducing parking requirements, density bonuses. So there's been some unique ways of looking at doing that. As I said, we currently have 29 homes in our model, but we have helped over 53 families achieve affordable home ownership in Carver County. Overall, our initial investment into those 29 homes was $1,090,690. So that equates to about $37,610 a unit. But through our resales, that initial investment has been decreased now to about $20,579. We've been fortunate that we have not had to put a lot of rehab money into our homes. We really work with the homeowners in that education process up front and along the way to educate them and ensure that they understand that this is home ownership. And it is up to them as the homeowner to help create that wealth by maintaining and keeping their properties in good repair. And they do that. As of December 2018, statewide in Minnesota, the Minnesota Community Land Trust Coalition, which is a 9-member organization, has made an affordability investment of roughly $39,557 on that first acquisition of that land. And overall, with all of our resales, that's now down to about $39,461. We have over 1,400 affordable units statewide through the land trust model, and we've managed over 400 resales collectively. So we've helped over 1,800 families achieve affordable home ownership. The median income remains pretty consistent throughout all of our portfolios. We're typically serving people at about 58% of area median income on the initial buy, and slightly higher with the resale at about 61. Additionally, about a third of our households in the CLT model are households of color, which is 2 to 5 times higher than in the local or the regular population. So we're very responsive to the needs of the communities, the geography, and the programs that are out there. We really believe that our model is the solution for permanently affordable home ownership. That's it.
Thank you.